Hey everybody, welcome back to Design IT Solutions Podcast. One of the popular topics going on right now is about AI and human lives. Do we anticipate AI causing human death in the next 25 or so years? And really the answer to that is yes, but not an apocalyptic type event or a whole droid army coming after humans to wipe out the human race. Instead, what we need to do is look at more of the Industrial Revolution. What happened to lives and people's quality of life, or the things that happened during the Industrial Revolution that we can correlate to what's happening with AI? Because what we're seeing is AI is kind of the modern age Industrial Revolution. We're seeing AI improve a lot of processes. At the same time, there's some issues with guardrails and things in place that are going to cause accidents. What we've seen already, for example, there was an adolescent who was struggling with depression, went to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT basically told the adolescent how to commit suicide and how to end its life, or his life, I should say, not an it, but AI went and helped that person not the right way, helped them in the way it thought it was supposed to be helpful, but obviously in valuing human life was not helpful at all. So we're going to run into the similar types of pitfalls as AI gets used in more industries and areas. And the problem is really, how do we put quality assurance and quality control on AI? So as we look at what happened in the Industrial Revolution, we saw a lot of automation. We saw a lot of process improvement, but there wasn't oversight or that thinking ahead of what does this look like long term. We saw conveyor belts go into place, and the conveyor belts didn't have safety rails on the side of them, or any safety guards. And so someone walking by accidentally got picked up and dismembered through automation. And of course, it's terrible. And then we're like, oh, we need to look at maybe some safety standards for workplace and the environment. And so we saw a lot of improvement through the Industrial Revolution on how to improve job flows and job safety. We're going to have the same exact process that has to be done with AI. So what's going to happen, we're going to use AI in a lot of industries, including healthcare, for example. We're using AI and these large language models now to really look at large population data sets. We're looking at how can we improve patient care and diagnoses that are being put out there based on a lot of information versus smaller sample sets. What's going to happen, or what could happen, is misdiagnosis and misuse of that data. That could just be from poor language models and poor data representation. So patients come in, they present a certain way, AI diagnoses them, and it's wrong. And it ultimately ends up in loss of life. We're going to see autonomous vehicles, which you've already seen get in accidents, that cause loss of human life. We're going to see hackers use AI maliciously to cause loss of life. The problem is when we rely on automation without safety guards and quality assurance, we end up with the Industrial Revolution parallel, where we have this great improvement, but we didn't realize, oh, there's these side effects. So as these software companies are developing more and more AI engines that we're going to be adopting, we need to figure out, how do we control the output? And how do we interact with the output in such a way that we understand what's happening? So when someone is misdiagnosed, who's going to catch that? And that's kind of the quality control issue that we're seeing, or is going to be kind of prevalent here for a while. So can we just trust everything that AI puts out? No. In fact, a lot of AI engines already have a disclaimer that say, hey, this can make a mistake, so check and make sure that this is right. ChatGPT says that all the time. If you use it, for example, when creating a document or helping write something. AI is not always correct. So what are the trade-offs, right? In the Industrial Revolution, we got a lot of process improvement, speedy manufacturing, improved process in production, and so with AI, we're going to see a lot of improved process production, speed to production. We're going to see a lot more knowledgeable data being used to help with every industry in optimization of time and energy. But that comes at a cost when we implement it too quickly. So right now we have AI engines and these, software companies are competing to try and get their AI out there. And typically that comes at a cost of quality control. So it's really important that we stress to these developers and these groups that, hey, we understand you want to win the AI race, but it can't be at the cost of lives or, dismemberment, whatever it may be. We don't want that. So we need to have, could be legislation that ultimately pushes it through, but we need to have safety guards, these rails in place to protect the consumer, to protect the businesses that are using the AI engines that didn't write the software, right? Right now, we don't know all that we don't know. In the Industrial Revolution, they didn't have a lot of people forward thinking that were predicting, hey, this could cost people's lives because it was new and we didn't have a lot of that. There were people out there who were saying, hey, wait, there's going to be, downside to this. We might see jobs lost because of automation. We have that same issue with AI, right? We're going to see jobs lost. Hopefully they're redefined and they're able to do other things like some of the quality control. But it is, improvement in time and efficiency when the computer can run the model in a matter of seconds versus how long, it took weeks to crunch data and look at, sample data sets before. So we have so much good that's going to come from AI where we actually will be able to see huge improvement in, especially in the healthcare sector, like I was talking about. We can take data from so many areas, and where we may have said, hey, there's a disease, it might be actually that we can see that there's actually pollen in a very specific zip code from a specific type of plant that is causing adverse reactions that look like a disease. And so instead of actually treating the disease, we're going to see, wait, actually, if they're in this zip code, it's more likely this, and they, need to take some kind of allergy medication instead, and it's gone, right? So we're not misdiagnosing, and that's more of a simple example, but it's going to help with complex cases as well, looking at risk factors, complication, avoidance, and how do we better treat and improve human life. So there will be lives lost, but there will be lives extended because of AI as well. And it's not to say that no life, one life has more value than another, but when we're dealing with, the improvement and enhancement of processes, things happen that are unfortunate. And so by putting the safety guards and this quality control in place, we can diminish that and hopefully keep it to, a minimum and respect all lives and hopefully gain a lot of production. So we also need to put in safety controls for hackers that are trying to get to AI to use it nefariously, right? And that could be to intentionally give it commands to do things maliciously, give it false data to cause it to come to a conclusion that causes loss of life, or just completely messes up the whole equation and sets people back. So besides the safety rails needing to be in there, we also have to put security controls around it because hackers will try to use it nefariously. Now, they're already using AI to help them speed their attacks along in cybersecurity. It's already building code that they couldn't do nearly that fast. So when we see a 0-day vulnerability, and this is the first day in the wild, this is the first day that vulnerability has been discovered, they're able to take AI and have it write exploitation for that in a matter of minutes versus weeks. So the speed to attack is incredible versus what it used to take. But what we're seeing in the trade-off is we're using AI on the protective side, and we're watching for that malicious behavior where we wouldn't have detected it necessarily before, but now that we have so many angles to look at with AI monitoring processes, we're able to detect it faster as well. So it's a back and forth, and we have to stay, on top of it on the positive or the protective side, the offensive side of cybersecurity using AI. So will AI bring about loss of life? It will, but we can absolutely wrangle that in and make it less than it could be by putting this quality control in place. Also, the benefits of AI are going to be huge, and we're already seeing benefits of AI. And so, do we stop what we're doing, or do we run scare tactics on AI? No, we just need to be aware of what's going to happen so that we can try to prevent it. And knowing that if you're going to the doctor and AI is involved, that you also take a responsibility to double check and get a second opinion, right? Before you take that diagnosis that came AI assisted or 100% AI generated, which I'm sure we'll see that very soon, that you also double check, right? And that we don't just trust AI even in our own daily activities. If you're driving in, autonomous vehicles, for now, keep your foot on the brake, right? Just be ready. I think they're great. I took a ride in one just recently in Vegas, and there was nobody in it. It just, well, I mean, I was in it, but there was no driver. There was nothing. It was just 100% autonomous and drove me from point A to point B, and it was pretty cool. And I'm very excited to see what that's going to look like down the road, because I do think we can avoid more accidents by having more autonomous vehicles. But they're still in development, right? And we still need the quality control and that assurance going on. So, is it a positive or a negative thing? Of course, always a loss of life is negative, but every industry deals with that. Every environment, every drug trial can cause lost life. So saying AI is going to destroy humans, not the case, but there's a chance that could happen, right? But I think with good controls, that's something we can eliminate in our development designs, so that the safety rails in place can't be overlooked. And that's going to take a lot of work by the developers, and that's why we need to be pushing that now, to make sure that we have the ethical components in place to keep AI in its ring, doing things that are helpful. So thanks for coming to our podcast today, and looking forward to talking to you on future topics. In the meantime, you can check out our YouTube channels, our social media channels, our website, designitsolutions.com. We always have information going on there, and look forward to talking to you soon.